that brings us to our next story, which is all about the Oscars, and in particular, this
Gross.
record-breaking nomination for a movie called Emilia Perez and the controversy that's now surrounding it. And if you guys, fans of the show, if you watched last week's episode, our guest at that point talked a little bit about this, but we're getting more and more information about it as it comes out because I refuse to watch this movie. But basically,
it's actually been out for a while.
Yeah, but so like this movie kind of came out of nowhere and swept the Oscars. It's got 13 Oscar nominations, which is like, more than like any other movie that's ever been nominated for an Oscar.
That's not true.
For foreign language.
For foreign language.
They keep pushing this, and it's like, that's not true. There's 3 movies that are tied with 14 Oscars. It's Titanic, La La Land, and I can't remember the other one.
Was it Lord of the Rings?
No, I don't think it was one of the Lord of the Rings. It was something else. It was a little.
Well, anyway, this one got more nominations than Dune Part 2
Lawrence of Arabia
that
or
stuff.
something like that. I can't remember.
But so this movie, Emilia Perez, it's being praised as this like great film, but pretty much everyone who's seen this movie doesn't like it, right? So it is a Mexican cartel crime comedy musical. That's how they're billing it as, right? So not only is it a crime movie, not only is it a comedy, but it's also a musical. So it's got music in it. A lot of the nominations are for music, and apparently the music's really bad. It's foreign language, but apparently Selena Gomez, like every native Spanish speaker who listens to her speak Spanish in this movie, is completely turned off because they're like, that's not how you do Spanish. And then the person who plays the titular character, Emilia Perez. So the story is about a Mexican drug cartel leader who transitions into becoming a woman in order to get out of her life of crime in the criminal cartel and not be killed because of it. So basically changing his identity. But the actress who plays this character is an actual trans person. It's a man who has transitioned into becoming a woman. He's had the surgeries and everything. And he was actually in this movie Conclave, which was good up until they got to the ending. Had a lot of problems with that movie. But this person has been nominated for Best Actress. And so like a lot of people are like, well, what does that do to all the real women who were nominated for Best Actress? Couldn't this have
How dare you?
Actor nomination? Yeah. Exactly. So like there's a lot of people out there who are like, why is this movie being so celebrated? And also it was shot by a French guy at sound stages in Paris. There's no Mexican representation in this movie whatsoever, and so Mexicans are pissed at it, because they're like, well, it's supposed to be about a Mexican drug cartel.
They're beyond pissed because not just that, but because of what it's about.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're celebrating this freaking cartel leader.
Yeah, like the guy who ran a drug cartel is the hero of this movie.
Yep.
But
and even though they obfuscate it in the movie, sorry, I just want to say this too. The reason they say in the movie is not the real reason why they got a sex change. They got a sex change in real life to avoid getting caught.
Mm-hmm. What?
Well, Tom, since you're so passionate about this, do you want to just give us a breakdown of your thoughts about this?
Well, you're gonna let Odin go first. I'll let him take it first. But
no, you go right ahead, Tom. You have this, baby.
This movie, man. Oh, God. I found out about this movie like 6, 7, 8 months ago, whenever it was it first came out, because Paulie's been talking about it for a while and how it basically just everything about it. Like, and if you've seen any clips from it, you watch it and you're going, how is this not a Saturday Night Live or a Mad TV skit? Like, this movie feels like the type of movie that would get all the Razzies if the Razzies weren't woke now, right? It's that bad. And you even have people that are coming out that are allies going, look, I'm so happy to see the Academy nominate a trans actress, but this movie was not the movie to do it for. And that's because of just what it's about. And then you have all this other controversy about it too, because it's not a very good movie, right? It's just not that great. It's a very poorly done movie, but it's also nominated in the foreign category and Best Picture. And I think the only fucking reason it's getting any fucking praise now is because of this shit that's going on with politics. And this is what I was saying earlier, is this Oscars is going to be the virtue signal of all virtue signals. It's where the actors show just how disconnected they are. It's where they all come out and they say, Mr. Trump, there's more than 2 genders. We need to fight climate change. That's what caused the fires and all this other shit. And That's why, this movie is going to get a bunch of Oscars because it swept the Golden Globes. And I'm like, why is this even being nominated? I didn't even know it came to theaters. I thought it was straight to streaming. I didn't realize it was a foreign film to begin with. I thought it was like a Netflix movie or something like that. But regardless,
it is produced by Netflix, right?
It is, but they see Netflix, I guess, must have put it in theaters at some point for it to be eligible. Because for those who don't know, a movie has to be in theaters, I think, for at least a week or two in so many theaters to be considered. And that's why Zaslav put Juror Number 2 in 50 theaters, so it could at least be not possibly nominated for awards, because it was initially supposed to be a streaming film. But anyway, that being said, that's why I think this is one big virtue signal. Wicked wasn't gay enough. Okay, Wicked was gay, but it wasn't gay enough to make the point they're trying to make with this shit.
We need more gay.
20% more gay, yeah.
25% more gay, yes.
25% more gay. Odin, so, you put on the Raven Awards, which is like a counter to the Oscars. And I actually think that your awards are probably more legit because, as we all know, the Oscars mandates certain diversity quotas in order to simply be nominated. What's your take on Emilia Perez and the controversy surrounding it and the Oscars?
Oh, it's so ridiculous, and to be frank, when it comes to the Raven Awards that I do, it's just, again, it's also one of those just fun troll things you do. It's just like, I got my own award show and we're just gonna do it. But I love it because the people get to nominate things, and there are films that get in that I would rather not be in there, but guess what? The people speak. I wasn't a big fan of Sonic 3. A lot of people were, and so they nominated that for one of the best movies of the year. And so that's the things that happen. But for specifically with Emilia Perez, the thing that is driving me crazy about it is, as y'all have been pointing out, is how it is coming across as such a deliberate attempt by Hollywood to give a middle finger to Trump and to give a middle finger to half the country in many respects as well. And it also shows you this massive disconnect that exists between these Hollywood elites that are a part of the Academy and the same Hollywood elites that are somewhat different in that leadership, producer class, whatever you want to call it, because we've heard so many stories about how Hollywood is going to be shifting away from these things. Well, clearly the people that are a part of the Academy are not a part of that same group, or there's some differences between them. So maybe it's a civil war for all we know.
We're basically talking the money people versus the creatives, basically.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And the other thing too, because I used to follow the Oscars. I used to love them because I love movies, and it's always been a passion of mine. And to get an Oscar used to mean something. It used to be such an important thing to have. And now, right, for the last several years, it's become completely worthless. But even I, when I was tracking it, when it comes to Best Picture, editing is actually the most important nomination to get, because there's almost no movie that's ever won Best Picture that was not nominated for editing. It's very, very rare that it happens. And guess what? Emilia Perez has that editing nomination in there. So there's a good chance that you have a sweep at the Oscars where Emilia Perez wins Best Picture. It's going to be like another Moonlight situation where it's like, what movie? What was that? No one's seen it. No one's seen it, and no one's going to talk about it. The only reason why anyone's talking about it in this situation is because of the actor, right, who is, who has, a mental condition and needs help. And I, kind of hope that he does win, because it'll be interesting to see how many of them are willing to stand up with their principles when, hey, this should be Demi Moore's, comeback year, right? That was kind of the narrative. They love building narratives. They love building stories. They're Hollywood. And that was the big one, is oh, is this going to be Demi Moore's comeback year? She's going to get the Oscar buzz, all this other stuff. But if it goes to a man, oh my goodness. At that point, they either have to completely own it, or they're going to have to, get, I think ultimately whoever wins Best Actress, though, it's going to have some inclusion of, some attack, I think, against the executive order that Trump made. That's what I think is probably going to happen.
I think so.
Well, Alex, who do you think is the audience for a foreign language crime comedy musical?
Not this guy. I'm not going to watch it. And I also have never once in my life watched the Oscars. So I really don't have a huge opinion on who wins some made up bullshit self-congratulatory reward for anything from Hollywood. I like the idea of the fact that we have two people here that have their own award show. We got Odin with his own award show, that the Real Movie Awards, and then we got Craig with the Real Video Game Awards. I love it, man. I want to go watch their stuff.
Yeah.
I don't give a rat's ass.
Plus, I mix it with like Razzies too, because we have our negative awards. We have Shill of the Year. We've got NPC of the Year. It's awesome stuff.
Perfect. No, I have no thought whatsoever. I'm never, ever, ever gonna watch this freaking movie, even if you beg me to make a podcast content about it. I'm like, nope, hard pass.
Yep.
So, yeah, good for them, I guess. Make a video and or make a movie and sell it to nobody. I don't know. They're not gonna make any money. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, oh, let's give this movie an award because it did so good at something. Like, I don't understand it. That's my thoughts.
Well, Brian, as our queer representation on the panel, I'd like to hear your take on this. Who do you think this movie was made for? Because like I have a hard time kind of pegging down the audience, other than maybe like liberal Karen.
He said pegging down.
Yeah, pegging down.
Apropos, yes.
I have a hard time pegging the audience with this one.
He's talking about a transvestite movie, and he says pegging down. Jesus Christ, dude. That's gross.
But what's your take on that, Brian?
I have the same take that Alex has. I don't understand who it was made for. I have no interest in it. I'm not gonna watch it. And I doubt it deserves any awards. Like, hey, let's give it an award because it's breaking new ground. Like, what new ground? This has been around for a while. And I think it would be silly if if a man won the Oscar.
Does that mean Linda Hunt has to give back her Oscar for winning Best Actress for playing a dude?
Well, she won Best Actress, even though she is still a woman. She was playing a dude in a movie, right?
Yeah, she was playing a dude in a movie, but she won for Best Actress, even though she was playing a dude. I mean, at no point, it wasn't a trans dude. She was just playing a dude. Like, well, that's it. It was just, yeah.
This actor is a woman. So.
This is a dude playing a woman, playing another woman. Let's be real. Or playing a dude pretending to be a woman, pretending to be white.
Pretending to be the other dude.
You're the dude pretending to be a woman, pretending to be another man, playing a woman. I think I got it right.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't know why anyone would care about this. It just shows Hollywood is so just into smelling their own farts constantly. And this is what has made the Oscars irrelevant. Years and years of this just sort of sneaking in, and now we're at the final boss of stupid Oscar awards. So I'm over it.
That's funny.
The final boss.
I'm not even a video game dude.
Well, Craig, you started your own award show in response to woke award shows or award shows that don't actually take into account the actual content of what they're awarding. What's your take on the Oscars in general? Do you think it's a dying thing? Do you think it's not as influential as it used to be?
No, of course. And to be clear, like, our show is not meant to be like anti-woke. It's just meant to be an alternative, right? To the, as you said, fart smelling of the industry, right? It's just meant to be an alternative to the industry perspective. That's it. Just something for gamers by gamers. And people go, it's anti-woke. No. Like, we had a developer win an award who's like super duper trans or whatever, right? Because they made a good game. And you know who cared? Nobody, because they made a good game, right? Nobody cared. And it wasn't like plastered all over the game, right? It was like, hey, you made a fun game. So people did. And actually, it's funny, while we were doing this guy person, I don't know, they tweeted out, they're about how they like own the chuds. And it's like, dude, that's the thing, is like, you're really looking too much into this. It's just meant to be an alternative. Anyways, your question about the Oscars. Yeah, they've been irrelevant for years, and they will continue to be. Their ratings have continuously gone down. It goes back to the earlier conversation about celebrities, right? The celebrity culture as itself is just dissipating so quick, and we will continue to see it dissipate. I mean, so this is a legit question, right? Who would you consider to be a movie star today?
Tom Cruise.
Okay. Tom Cruise has been a movie star for 40 years.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. I could see Chris Pratt.
But Glenn Powell, for me, recently.
Who's that?
I'll watch Glenn Powell on just about anything right now.
So, but the point is that it was hard to think. You had to really think about it.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
I think for most of Hollywood, you can be like, well, this from boom, 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 go down the line, right? And it's becoming harder and harder to do that. So when you see people pop up on, you know, the Oscars, I don't even know who these people are presenting to. I have no idea who that. So why do I care? The audience for the Oscars is women. Let's be very real about that. Like,
Right.
and this is not meant to be like a derogatory statement. It's women and gay men, right? So they have been pre-consumed by this and TikTok and social media, and now they can get that information so much quicker and have another dopamine rush, just like everything else that, you know, just like every other demographic. So yeah, I mean, it is irrelevant for sure, and it has been irrelevant. It'll continue to be irrelevant, and but it's relevant to them, which is why they'll continue to do it.
Just wait until those songs get performed at this year's
Oh God.
Oscars.
They aren't doing musical performances this year, I heard.
Oh, isn't that convenient?
Yeah, every other year
Wow.
somebody changed that. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is kind of funny. You would think that being so many musicals were nominated, they would do that, but they're
This is
not.
the year Wicked's nominated for stuff. I mean, Lord.
Did nominated get an original song Oscar though? Because unless they put a new song in there, it wasn't eligible.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, yeah, they did put they added one song. I don't know if it was completely original though, or if it was just never in the original show.